The Jedi Code is like an itch. He cannot help it.
Where is he?
Hello there. Welcome to Explosion Network's Obi-Wan After Show, where we're breaking down, discussing, reviewing each episode of the Disney Plus original Star Wars series, Obi-Wan. My name's Dylan Blight. Join me, Ashley Hobley.
Hello there. Excited to be here.
Hello there. I'm so disappointed, actually. I was like, you know how that first episode opens, he doesn't speak for so long? I was like, oh, it's going to be the first words you hear Obi-Wan say, you know, for the first time in however many years.
No,
nothing significant.
No.
It's
the first time he meets Darth Vader. You know, really sort of build up, really tense scene, facing off against each other, staring each other down, and then he goes, "Hello there."
But the first conversation you get instead is, "You stink. Have you got my money?" I was like, "All right, well,
yeah,
there we go."
Yeah, he's living in a cave, so I mean,
it's true. I mean, I don't think he was too fussed about what was happening with any of that. So we are, of course, the 2-part opener of Obi-Wan dropped tonight as of recording. We're recording this after I finished watching it. They don't have names. It's just part one, part two.
Yeah.
I presume that will continue on. I think that's built out of the fact it was originally pitched as a movie and then sort of expanded into a mini series. So they're just like part one, part two. It's a big story.
Yeah.
Deborah Chow's directing the whole thing, so I don't know if I need to mention her name every single week.
Yeah.
The writers, I believe, are the same, but they are Joby, Hossein, Amini, and Stuart, Beattie. I will shout out anyone else if that changes, but I'm pretty sure the creative team is solid, apart from, like, especially compared to other Star Wars
Joby
series.
Harold did the teleplay for the second one.
Yeah, but like the three of them, like teleplay plus story plus like a mix, I think.
Yeah,
right?
all the episodes have separate. There's different combinations of writers, but yeah.
But of those three,
the other one I see is Hannah Friedman and Andrew Stanton.
Okay, so maybe
also helps out towards the tail end.
Okay, so there you go. So, the cast, of course, Ewan McGregor stars in both episodes as Obi-Wan / Ben Kenobi. And then we also got Moses. Is Moses?
I want to say Moses, yeah.
Yeah, Moses Ingram stars as the co-stars, I'm going to say, because she's definitely the main villain. Well, we'll see when, we'll see how things progress. But at the moment, she's definitely the main antagonist. And then in third place credits, I've put Vivian Lyra Blair, who's the young actress playing Leia Organa, which we'll get to.
I'm going to put it out right now. Hashtag tween Leia. Now we had Baby Yoda, tween Leia.
Yeah. So then we got Rupert Friend, right?
Friend.
Is it Friend? Okay. Rupert Friend as the Grand Inquisitor, Sun Kang as the 5th brother, Joel Edgerton as Uncle Angry Owen, and Benny Safdie was also in here with as a dead what? Dead Jedi. And then Kamal Nanjiani shows up as a wannabe Jedi.
Haja Estri, yeah.
So that's the cast for these 2 episodes.
What about Jimmy Smits? Jimmy Smits back as
Bail Organa? I was like on main cast. I guess that's like guest appearance. There's guest.
What? Benny Safdie shows up for 3 seconds. He gets a mention.
Hey, he's in it. He's definitely in it for way more. Come on.
No, okay, 10 seconds.
He's like got a whole scene. He's like running away from Inquisitors, talks to Obi-Wan. Come on, what are you saying? What are you saying? Come on, get your shit together.
I'm saying Jimmy Smits had more screen time. That's what I'm saying.
Jimmy Smits is in everything, though. It's not as exciting. Benny Safdie. Legend in the making. Synopsis, I didn't bother. Disney Plus, who cares? I'm sick of reading out their shitty descriptions. I'm changing it. No longer will I read out their bullshit synopsises on these bloody Star Wars shows that we're doing.
Until next week.
I'm sick of it. Until next week, maybe. Here's my synopsis. Here's where I want to start with this, right? I know it's like there's bigger things to get into, but when they started and they're like previously on, I'm like, it's the first season. You know? I'm like, what's the previously on? And then it kicks into just showing everything from the prequels. I was like, didn't expect that. It was pretty cool montage though. Right.
Yeah, it was a nice recap for people who didn't necessarily do a rewatch prior to this. Only thing that could have improved on it,
Animated series footage.
Yeah, put some Clone Wars footage in there.
Yeah.
Put like a tiny bit. No, Rebels would be after this, right?
Rebels is after this, yeah.
Yeah, so
which is interesting, and I'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
There's one key thing that happens in this that's quite intriguing.
Yes.
But overall, the 2-part Open Ash, first episode nearly 50 minutes, second one's about 38 minutes, I think. What'd you make of it?
I really enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun. It feels like Star Wars, It's great to see Ewan McGregor back in the role. It's really cool to be back on Tatooine, even though, we kind of complained. It's fun to see this kind of Tatooine, I guess. A bit more city and, caves and stuff. I don't know. The sand looked different to the other sand we've seen.
Sand looked different.
Yeah, it feels different. Yeah, really enjoyable. Although, I'll say I love Twin Leia. She's great. Fantastic. Super enjoyable. It's a cool reveal because obviously we're theorizing what is going to make Obi-Wan leave.
What would draw
Tatooine?
Obi-Wan off the planet of all things? Like, what could happen that's so
What
dire
could have happened?
could draw him off?
It never occurred to us, either of us, that this
no.
could be the reason.
No. And to be honest, I don't think I've seen anyone write that theory anywhere. Even though when it happened, I was like...
It's like, of
that's
course.
Yeah, of course. Like,
that's the thing that makes most sense.
In fact, when Jimmy Smits, Bail Organa is like, she's just as important as him, I was like, I feel bad because I didn't actually consider Leia like as an option. I was like, is this aimed as the audience? Like,
and then in hindsight, it makes even more sense because, of course, Leia contacts Obi-Wan Kenobi, and now we know where their connection is.
Yeah, that's the funniest. This is a whole retconning, connecting dots sort of thing. When people have always said why does she trust him so much? Oh, it's because her father told these stories about Obi-Wan. Must have told her how great a person he is, and that's why she has such big trust that he will be the one that's able to help her. No, she has such big trust in him because what we're watching
saved her life.
Yep,
genius.
saved her life.
It's genius. It's kind of brilliant. It is another Star Wars story where it looks like a character is shepherding a young child across the galaxy.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like every series is just some young child, even if they're 100 years old. 10-year-old, 100-year-old, whatever, same difference.
But she's fun, she's sassy, she's definitely Leia, which I appreciate and definitely enjoying her. I think it's shot reasonably well, except for some of the chase sequences involving Leia. It's kind of weird with this perspective and the slow moving cameras around. Really enjoying it. I love all the little cameos. Sure, Benny Safdie was pretty cool. That was a cool reveal. A good way to set up the Inquisitors. But then Kumail, I got the joke straight. As soon as all the doors went down, the windows went down at the same moment. I'm like,
I just like that. I'm in your mind now.
Yeah, a lot of fun. I'm very excited to see where it goes from here because why? Well, other than the third sister, I guess, wanting to get power, is there a more reason why she's after Kenobi? It seemed more personal to begin with, but
yeah. I thought it was a good 2-parter. I think that it was a very smart choice to release it as a 2-parter because it is a lot of introducing you to Obi-Wan again and introducing the Inquisitors in a way that's understandable for people who may not know who they are. Setting up this world, and it's a slow sort of build pace, which I think's fine, but it's obviously why they've dropped it as 2 episodes and not one a week. They've done that whole sort of thing again, which is fine. Really lots of interesting things in here. My favorite thing though is, as cool as it is to see Ewan McGregor, and Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan definitely brings such a presence to the screen, although, and this isn't a complaint because it's just the story and the place we're in, it is somewhat hard to watch him and not feel bad that he's so defeated. And I know that's sort of the point, but we're used to like when we're the show, like we're calling this Hello There. That's the name of this Holocron Entries Obi-Wan podcast. And that's you picture that Obi-Wan jumping down into the battle, flicking his hair out of the way there. Hello there. And like whipping and like making jokes at Grievous and stuff. And now you've got like to see him in the conversation with Benny Safdie's Jedi and be like, hide, live a normal life. We lost, just like just the way he talks, everything. Like it is not and I know again, this isn't a critique, but it's just like I'm watching it, like being like, it just makes me kind of sad. I'm like, like
I think it's meant to, obviously, today. So because obviously, the last time we saw him, he lost his best friend, his brother,
or everything.
Or so he thought.
He lost everything. Like he lost everyone he knew. His job, he's like everything he believed in. Yeah,
that's one thing I will point out that they very much highlighted in that previously on was Yoda telling him he was going to give him special training to work on.
Yeah, as soon as that was the last line, I'm like, Liam Neeson showing up at some point.
Liam Neeson showing up,
Yeah,
or he's just going to be very, or like he is through this entire thing. He's just very bad at it.
No.
He's like, now would be a great time for you to show up.
They've even
give me advice, master.
In that the book. What the fuck was it called? Whatever that book was called, with a bunch of short stories around A New Hope from another point of view. I think that was it.
I think that was
one of those stories. Literally has Obi-Wan talking to Qui-Gon at some point there, like so. It's been reintroduced since then, and it was such a throwaway line at the time in episode 3, I guess. But I think with the fact that they had that and that thing, definitely, I'm going to say Liam Neeson
from a certain point of view.
From a certain point of view, that's the line. So I think definitely Liam Neeson at some point here. Very good. So, but my favorite thing is Leia. I'm loving this girl as Leia. I think that scene with her like running through, climbing the tree, talking to the droid, just like laying back, naming all the starships, being like, that one's boring. Oh, that's exciting. I haven't seen that one before. Her droid doing the thing. I love her droid too. The fact that when she like, it's like Leia Organa, and the it sounds like the robot's like, it does like a little like all this sort of stuff. Like I think her casting is probably the highlight, and like keeping that a secret on all the trailers and everything like that. Because as soon as it cut to like that first shot of Alderaan, I was like, oh shit. I was like, I hadn't considered Alderaan as a place we could go in this show, but and then that was like, you had that thing where it's like you think it's her getting dressed up, but it's her friend or whatever that person was. That the whole time just watching that scene, I'm just sitting there going, what if? Even at that point, I'm like, oh yeah, like it makes sense to, I guess, flick back and forward and show us what Leia's up to. Yeah, no, that's fair. Like I never, even then, I wasn't.
Then you
like,
see that sinister dude in the background.
Yeah, when I saw the sinister dude in the background, I was like, oh, there's more happening here. Because for a second there, I was like, oh, they're just going to show us some Leia for like the sake of it. I don't know, like
just, Phil, so we're not Obi-Wan out.
Yeah, so you can
give someone else to focus on for a little bit.
Give a mix here, yeah. So, but yeah, I think she's definitely the highlight of this show for me so far. I think she's really, really great, and Leia's definitely a character. Has in the novels and comics, of course, got to expand on more, but in live action material, there's nowhere near as much like sort of time to shine or grow as a character as Luke or any of the other characters. And there's some really great throwbacks to stuff here. I love that moment where can't remember exactly what she said, but whatever she says when she's with Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan stops for a second and is like, "You remind me of something," and he's talking about Padme, so. All that sort of stuff I thought was really sweet to see, like throwbacks and mentions of that sort of stuff.
The other thing is her like giving it to her cousin, like really like reading his thoughts and like telling him what he really thinks.
Yeah.
Like verbalizing it, and then having a similar thing with Obi-Wan later, like clearly showcasing the Force.
Yeah. Just unknowingly.
Unknowingly, yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess the question is, why doesn't Obi-Wan train Leia after this? When she clearly shows signs.
Does he ever pick up, or is he that daft or out of it at this point? Yeah. I don't know. It is a good question. It's always sort of been a question of why was it like, oh, go look after the boy because he'll be the one with the force sensitivity and the powers.
Sexist.
Yeah. I mean, kind of is. To be real. Kind of is. Obi-Wan's just like, hey, princess, I'm here to save you. She's like, stop calling me fucking princess. Like, get the hell out of here. So
I mean, she didn't, she was ready to escape. She just waiting for somebody to open that door.
That's right. Yeah, I'm very reminiscent of her when she's older and Luke comes in and like just say he's in that room or whatever. Reminded me of. Where do I want to go? So, talking about Luke before I forget, that thing that Obi-Wan gives him is a toy he has when he grows up, and it's in A New Hope. So if you rewatch A New Hope, at some stage he's like playing with that. It's like a bunch of like ship toys or whatever, I guess, like something like that. It's either ships or like bikes or like speeders or something, but that's what that is, and that's from A New Hope. So shout out, Easter egg.
Interesting.
Inquisitors. What did you make of the Inquisitors in this? As someone who's only watched like a handful of Rebels episodes and played Jedi Fallen Order, of course, where you've also sort of got Inquisitors.
They're fine. They're bad Sith dudes. Yeah, I don't think there was much to it. Obviously, Third Sister is a little bit power hungry and a little bit crazy. I don't think they did her much justice. Like her big movement over the rooftops in the second episode, where she can clearly see where they're fighting.
It's a bit excessive.
He doesn't look that far from where she is.
No,
and she's unable to get there in time, even though she's got
because
these
she stopped to do about 16
she did like 16 double flips and triple side spins. I don't know.
Just for the sake of it, apparently, too. So
yeah, but yeah, I think it's interesting that they're not all on the same page. That makes things interesting. That they're not.
Well, she's the only the odd one out. Like everyone else is cool,
willing to accept orders, but yeah, not her.
Yeah,
willing to do her own thing, setting things in motion, drawing out Kenobi. I think it's pretty smart, but yeah, I think she's a menacing presence at the very least, especially like when she's talking to Owen during that big scene. Yeah, but I can see her not working for some people, like just being a bit grating, I guess, or trying a little bit too hard to be menacing, I guess.
So she is definitely one of the kids from the opening scene, right?
That's what I was going to bring up. It's like, that's got to be it, right?
Yeah, I presume that's what it is. So then the question is, in that moment, Order 66, she's trying to escape. What happens to her then, well, between then and there, that leads to her wanting to join the Inquisitors? Because the Grand Inquisitor very much implies that the thing is she's nothing like them, and she sought them out, and stuff like this. So what is the go there? Like what happened there? What caused her to have this hatred for potentially Jedi? What happened to her to want to please Vader so much? Is it because she sees Anakin down there doing Slaughter Kids Mission 99, taking out all the bloody Padawans that we never got to see in episode 3? Is that why? And is that how she knows that Anakin is alive? And she knows he's Vader? Because that's the other thing. That's a secret. That's not something that everyone knows. Like
that
Anakin Skywalker is Vader is not a thing that people are allowed to know, or most people know at all. And the fact she knows that is either she's put some things together or seen some things, or similar to how she hints that or says that she's discovered evidence about Obi-Wan and Organa and all these sorts of things. Like either she's learnt it the same way, where she's been digging through some files and stuff,
archives,
archives or something like that to solve these things together. Yeah, so I don't know if you have any thoughts on any of that.
No, there are multiple theories you could come up with. Like she could have been deserted by the other Jedi and left to fend for herself. She could have been turned in the moment, or she could have always been tempted by the dark side. Who knows? But it'll be interesting to find out, I guess, over the course of these episodes, and see if we delve back into Order 66, maybe some more.
Only 4 episodes left. Won't take too long to get there. And then touch on it now, since we're going over Inquisitors and everything. The Grand Inquisitor is a character who, when revealed in the trailer, everyone hated the way he looks. I think he looks a little bit better here. I don't know if maybe it's just within context. It's just I don't dislike it as much. I'm sure other
people are just upset that his head's not longer.
Yeah, people want him to look exactly like the
animated
animated
maybe
series.
What happened to him in this episode, it'll be fixed.
Yeah, but the thing is, Rebels is stylized, so it never made sense for him to look exactly that way anyway, because like there's a certain style to that show, so no one actually looks how they would look like as actual live action human characters. But the major thing is, of course, at the end of this, bloody stabbed right through the chest. Now, unless this show is retconning all of Rebels, which I would be pissed about. But
I don't think so.
I don't think that's happening. Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
They thank Dave Filoni in the trailer, the credits. So
that would be dumb. So I presume he's going to survive, or there's going to be some.
Yeah, just going to like put some robot organs in there.
He's a fucking clone. I don't know, like some.
He's going to go into the Tatooine desert, and there's going to be one of those
Sarlacc pit that brings you back to life.
No, one of those the cyborg people. Doctor dies
from the Book of Boba Fett.
From Boba Fett, yeah, exact same one playing his techno music, whatever. Yeah.
Just what 18? No, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, like 16 years early.
Yeah, so it'll be like a preteen doctor doing this.
Sure, I mean, whatever works.
Yeah, why not?
So that's definitely interesting to see what happens there. I feel like we won't find out the answer to the Grand Inquisitor thing straight away, because maybe they just want to, like, next episode at least focus on her as the lead villain or something and set up this relationship with Vader. I presume we're going to see a little bit more Vader in episode 3 because he is teased. Of course, you see our first appearance from Vader right at the end there. Presumably, of course, Hayden Christensen there doesn't look anything like him with all the makeup and everything. If it was, and I presume it is. I know they said he's going to be in the suit when they're doing like fights and stuff. Well, when they do a fight, so I presume he was on board for all of it. But I'm really intrigued to see what the plan is from now, because they're in a ship. So I'm like, cool. What's the go? Are we flying?
Where are they going?
Yeah. Where are we going?
Well, Kamal sent them to
some
friends.
Specific place, yes. So now is the show literally just run from Inquisitors and Vader?
I think so.
Yeah, okay.
Or at least he's going to get her home and then they'll go from there.
Yeah. Because my thing is, I'm thinking like, now that I feel like he can't go back to Tatooine.
Until the end.
Until he's sure that he's safe. Yeah, at the end. So I'm still going to stick to my theory that Anakin/Vader thinks he's killed him by the end of this series, or thinks he's won or something like that. And that's why he never goes after him any longer, and why Obi-Wan thinks he's safe to head back out to Tatooine, because there's no way
have it in him to kill his master. Maybe.
That would be an interesting direction. But yeah, because there's no way if Obi-Wan even drops off, like say Bail Organa meets him up and is like, here, take Leia, bye, see you later. At that point, Obi-Wan just can't even go back to Tatooine, I feel, because unless he's for sure certain that he's not being tracked or no one will be able to find him or anything like that, because he doesn't want to lead him to Luke. So I just wonder what his thought process is going to be. Not that I feel like he's thinking too much the way the episodes ends, because I'm pretty sure just freaking the hell out discovering that Anakin's alive and he's this Darth Vader character that I'm sure he's probably heard about but never put two and two together, sort of thing. You know, because he knows who Inquisitors are, so I'm sure he knows who Vader is.
The other interesting thing, I guess, will be, what if Third Sister works out that Obi-Wan's been, or Leia is Anakin's kid?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, that would be some hardcore detective work, I feel, to figure out that, though. Like, even more hardcore. That'd be interesting. I mean,
or even just like, she's force sensitive. She needs to die.
She's definitely going to die by the end of the series, though, I can tell you that. Like, sure.
Oh, yeah, she's not going to make it.
Yeah,
she never shows up in Rebels as a reason.
She's not in Rebels. She's not in anything else. She's got a bloody hot head. You know who I reckon kills her?
Darth Vader.
Yeah, Vader. I'm saying Vader kills her. Doesn't make so much sense. She's like super out to get impress him and all this sort of things. And I can just see it, like all she needs to do is take that one step too far, like she always is doing, but in a way that pisses off Vader and
hopefully he actually chokes her and
pops her head off.
Yeah,
just pops her fucking head off. That'd be good. Yeah. Then.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts?
Also want to shout out the horse thing that Obi-Wan has. Nice design.
Oh yeah, he's still in that extra slice of meat.
Still in that extra meat, skimming off the top. That's why everybody's wages are going down. They're not selling that meat, so it's got to come from somewhere. Yeah, that's what happens.
I don't know if that one piece of meat's worth entire dude's half pay, but
well, if they're not getting paid anything, I mean,
true.
Half of nothing's pretty tiny. Also, the first shot where he's sitting outside the cave, eating his meal, that very much reminded me of Force Awakens, of Rey preparing her meal. Similar kind of thing where it's a food that when you heat it up, it magically transforms into food.
It's called popcorn.
And then sits outside looking out at the desert. Very evocative. Yeah.
You know why that is?
Why?
Rey, Obi. Oh wait, sorry, they already. Fuck.
Rey Kenobi. Yeah.
Rey Kenobi. Yeah. I like that theory a lot better than what we got. In retrospect, I'll take it over what happened. Did you also see? I don't know if this will actually mean anything, but I think earlier this week or last week, the Star Wars or Disney account, one of them tweeted out this what to watch in preparation for Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it had a bunch of Clone Wars episodes on there, which were mainly or I think they were just the ones that have Satine in it, his love interest. So I was like, is this just for shits and giggles, or are you getting my hopes up that we're actually going to mention that Obi-Wan had a love interest in the Clone Wars?
Maybe. They could end up on Mandalore or something. Who knows?
That would be crazy. That would be
crazy. Shout out to two other cameos. We got Anthony Daniels as C-3PO for a brief moment.
2 seconds.
At the party.
Yep.
And then, of course, we got Tamara Morrison.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot to mention. Yeah. That was really cool. 501st clone, which was, that was the shout out. And yeah, it was really interesting, cool cameo, but it also works for a narrative point of view. It's not just a weird cameo, having him in it, because you've got this Obi-Wan, looking at this dude, sort of wanting to help him, but having this look of, well, you's tried to kill me, but I sort of want to help you because you remind me of all my friends, and I fought alongside the clones,
Rex and
all this sort of thing. And
all
then
the other,
yeah. And then, but it's also paired with the fact that right as he goes to walk off, down on the street is this dying sort of veteran from the war before, and what walks past? 2 shiny new white glistening armor stormtroopers. Yeah, so I feel like that was done on purpose and sort of one thing to the other. So I thought that was really good. Yeah.
Yeah. Also appreciate Obi-Wan hurting himself the first time he gets into a fight.
Yeah, that part where he punches someone and he's like, "Ow!" Bit out of practice. Sorry, you came through.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see when he goes to use his lightsaber and cuts his fucking arm off.
That was also a cool scene where he goes in the middle of the desert.
Yeah, I was like, what, you got GPS on this? What's the...
Yeah. Put a force tracker, I guess, maybe.
Knew exactly where it was in the middle of... Literally middle of buttfuck nowhere. Ridiculous. All right. Thank you for joining us for this episode. Please subscribe to Holocron Entries, our Star Wars podcast, for all our other Star Wars shows, including The Mandalorians, The Very Bad Batch, whatever our Andor after show is called, and much more Star Wars content. Follow all our Twitters by heading to explosionnetwork.com/Twitter. Join our Discord, explosionnetwork.com/Discord. Come talk to about Star Wars and other things there. And if you like this episode, head on over to explosionnetwork.com/support to donate as little as $1 to help keep the show and the lights going. Until next week, please be civilized.